OCG banlist time. The new banned cards. Cards that cannot be put on the deck with an official duel. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Moon of the Closed Heaven. Awesome. I mean, this is the OCG ban list, so it only matters partially to me. I mean, it does matter to me a little bit because, of course, they design cards for the OCG, and a lot of these hits, if you know that the OCG design team has got their eyes on these cards, there is a pretty decent chance that Master Duel is the next one to receive these hits. Moon of the Closed Heaven, of course, toxic card. I'm a big fan of Fiendsmith, you know this. However, I'm not a fan of every single deck getting to do Fiendsmith on top of their combo. So that is good. That is very, very good. Okay, Moon Band, Splash Mage. Just hold that L, Cybers enjoyers, okay? Nobody in their right mind likes Cybers. All right, get rid of that card. Good riddance. Oh my god, okay. Baguska and Red Ransom are two cards that actually got banned in Master Duel first before they were banned in the OCG. And funnily enough, the TCG is still lagging behind on these two. In the TCG, we already have Moon and Splash Mage, which is awesome. These two, I mean, I'm recording this in the middle of participating in the Duelist Cup, quite literally. And without Red Ransom, Malice is still a menace. So it's by far the deck I'm playing against the most in the Duelist Cup, which is miserable. So Red Ransom ban alone does not kill it. However, Splash Mage is legal in Master Duel, so getting rid of that definitely helps. How many cards need to get banned until people finally stop playing Malice? Please stop. I'm begging you. Baguska deserves to be banned. I hope that card goes in TCG as well. And that's all the bans. Okay, so massive hits to generic extra deck monsters. No more generic Fiendsmith pivoting. I mean, you can still do it with a rank 3 or a rank 4 or whatever, but that's not as easy as any two monsters. Baguska, good riddance. Splash Mage and Ransom, very good Malice hits. I wonder if it's enough for the power level that Malice is at in the OCG, but we'll take it, I guess. Awesome. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. That kind of shocked me right now. I'm kind of stun locked because when they put it to 2, I was like, surely this is the start of something great, and they're gonna gradually move it down. And once again, for context, like this probably means this will also happen in Master Duel. That is big copium, but the semi-limit happened in Master Duel as well. So yes, please, for God's sake, Maxi needs to be banned. Holy shit, we need, I mean, I understand. I guess we're going step by step and they are super small steps, but, or like the steps are taking very long and way longer than I would like. But yes, Maxi needs to go. There are a couple of decks in the OCG and in Master Duel that, if Maxi is banned, are potentially going a little bit crazy. But to that I say, hit those decks. There's literally, if there is a deck that completely FTKs you if you don't Maxi it, that deck needs to go. So ripping off the band-aid, getting rid of Maxi, putting it to 1 for that matter, I guess for now, we'll take it. Pretty nice. There needs to be, I mean, one more step, dude. You're so close. You're so close, OCG game designers. You almost have it. You almost have the right idea. And then Ice Ryziel, which deserves to be at 1. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know. You guys know I had Malice, right? But I don't talk about what they've done to Ryziel enough. Because it low-key makes me almost just as mad. Because Ryziel started out as like this super balanced and well-designed deck that was just like, okay, Detonator Pass, Duo Drive was a clear choke point, so you could actually hold your Ash for it. And then what happened was they turned it into rank 4 combo slop the deck. Which, of course, it was a rank 4 toolbox beforehand, but it was limited into how much it can do. And it could be interrupted by like an Imperm or an Ash or whatever on the Duo Drive because they didn't have a way to get crossed beforehand. Then they made Star Ryziel, so now there was no more choke point. And they made more rank 4, broken rank 4 engines that just went into the same deck, like Onomat and Heraldic. And now it just FTKs everybody if one of their cards resolve, which is insane. So what they did to Ryziel is low-key criminal. And so, yeah, they need to hit these cards because they just, like, literally, the good starters should have just locked you into Ryziels instead of level 4s, and we would have never had any of these problems, and Ryziel cards could probably all be at 3. But no, they just can't put proper locks on cards. So here we are, and now they have to limit Ice Ryziel. Okay, sure. Mululu and Marshmallow. Okay, now we're talking. We're talking Draco Tail hits and Yummy hits. Now, I think it's without a question and without a doubt that hits to these decks need to happen, especially if you look at it through the lens of the OCG, where Draco Tail is no longer the fair and pure Draco Tail deck that we all know and love from TCG and current Master Duel format. Literally, I can tell you from playing the Duelist Cup right now, the only deck that is keeping me sane is Draco Tail. All the other decks, or basically all the other decks, are miserable to play against in Master Duel. Like, it's Onomat, Ryziel, Malice, Odeon, Stun decks, and some Lunalight. Like, literally, playing against Draco Tail is the only thing that keeps me in this. But with the upcoming Albaz support, it's basically turned into a very, very powerful deck in the OCG. They basically play, like, Albaz, Magistus, Draco Tail, like, putting all the... Basically what happened to Ryziel, which is unfortunate. It is really... If 2025 has taught us anything about game design, which we should have known that beforehand already, but if it should teach us anything about game design, it's that they need to make engines less bridgeable into each other. Like, there needs to be limits to how much you can achieve when you put two engines together or more, because like it's getting a little ridiculous. So they are, and the same goes for Yummy, by the way. Both Pure Draco Tail and Pure Yummy and Pure Ryziel are three super well designed decks if they were just contained within their own archetype. Unfortunately, they messed up with that big time on all three of these. So now here we are at a place where, okay, Yummy Snatchy also getting limited. This one is, this is cringe. It's so cringe because Pure Yummy is such a cool deck that probably was fine. If they just, Herald of the Arclight, I don't know if it's banned in the OCG already. I don't think it is. But like, this is, it's just, frankly, it's sad to see, actually. The reason... I guess in the OCG they play a lot of Pure Yummy, but if you just ban Herald of the Arclight, Pure Yummy is a completely fine deck and can go completely untouched. But yeah, because Snatchy to 1 literally hits the Pure Yummy deck the most out of all the decks. You can probably still play a hybrid version of Yummy with one Snatchy. I mean, it's going to be a little worse. They play two Snatchies for a reason in most of the like Yummy Mitsu or whatever. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's, but this is literally the reason why I'm both disappointed by this, but also don't have a better idea other than ban Herald of the Arclight, because this is a problem that they made, right? They created this problem by not putting proper locks on any of these cards, right? Not on Ryziel, not on Yummy, and not on Draco Tail, I guess, either. I mean, Draco Tail does lock you into fusions at some point, but there's like too many slop combinations that you can make with like throwing in Magistus, throwing in Albaz, because a lot of them also lock you for the rest of the turn, so you can do everything you want beforehand. So a lot of this needed to happen, unfortunately. I just don't like the fact that they maneuvered into a situation where it had to happen. And then we've got, oh, Called by the One is awesome as well. I mean, it's at 1 in every format now, which is good. It should be banned in all formats, but okay, step by step. Pre-prep as well, I kind of glanced over it, but pre-prep is a good hit. I mean, I don't mind it. It's a really powerful generic card. It's gonna suck for some other ritual decks that basically Mitsurugi is gonna take this this card away from every other deck. The same is true for if they banned Herald of the Arclight, though. It's like basically Mitsurugi forcing them to ban these cards. So the thing is, like, I think the story here is Maxi and Called by should be banned, so those are phenomenal limits. The other 5 limits here are all necessary and good from where we are right now, but these would have all been cards that it would have been very preventable if they just designed properly from the beginning. Which, I don't know, massive copium, but I hope that this year has taught them a lesson. I mean, I think in their defense a little bit here, because I've kind of been going off at how badly designed some of this is in terms of like no locks and stuff. But like they've made a step from, in 2024, they just designed archetypes that were like abysmal in their design. You know, Snake Eye, Tenpai, Yubel, Malice towards the end of the year, like literally probably the worst year of archetype design ever in Yu-Gi-Oh history. And in 2025, they have learned from that. You know, decks like Draco Tail, decks like Yummy, even Mitsurugi, if played in their pure form, are a lot more healthy and balanced and fun to play and play against than anything that happened in 2024. So that was an important step that they made from 24 to 25. Now, all we need to do from 25 to 26 is make those archetypes less like sloppy, less splashable into everything, and less like it's okay if two archetypes go well together, but I don't think it's okay if they basically achieve their full potential. Like, if a deck is designed to be a top tier deck in its pure form, like Yummy or Draco Tail, it's not okay if you can slap them together and still do all the things that both the decks did, because there's no restrictions that prevent you from doing so. Anyways, rant over. Oh, we're not even done. Holy shit. Toad is coming back and Metamorphosis is coming back. Okay. I mean, one of Metamorphosis probably won't do much. Toad is awesome to see. I mean, they still have Bahamut Shark in the OCG, I think, so this is kind of scary. At the same time, the OCG is more combo oriented than the TCG anyways, so I'm happy to get my boy back into the thing. I mean, I was always a bigger fan of banning Bahamut Shark than banning Toad, so I'm happy to see Toad back. All right, semi-limited. Okay. Okay, one rant over, next rant about to start. Ash Blossom to 2. Low key or maybe high key. I don't know where you stand on this argument. This is a good change. And I was gonna make a video discussing Ash Blossom, and I will probably still do it because this is an OCG hit, and I think this is a very interesting topic with how Ash Blossom has aged over the years, and I think Ash Blossom has aged pretty poorly. And let me say why. And this is also from a TCG perspective, and I'll get into more detail on a future video with this. But I think Ash Blossom is very subpar as a hand trap when you go second these days. A lot of archetypes are designed to full combo through Ash Blossom, either naturally in the case of Malice, or if you just draw any one extender in your deck, you do the full thing anyway. So drawing Ash Blossom going second usually feels pretty bad. So Ash Blossom has kind of like turned into this Called by the Grave-esque card, which, by the way, if you don't think Called by the Grave is a toxic card, then no one agrees with you, okay? Cards like Called by that are just here to negate hand traps are toxic, okay? Just because Maxi is also toxic does not mean when you go first, you should just negate it for basically free and just combo uninterrupted. And Ash Blossom does basically the same thing. Negating Maxi or negating the Molcharmies, which, by the way, the Molcharmies are much fairer than Maxi to begin with. So if a Molcharmy is your only way of winning going second and then it gets ashed, it's a horrible interaction. It's super unhealthy, and it shouldn't happen, right? So Ash Blossom to 2 is low-key a very good hit. This should happen less often. Charmies should resolve. Charmies are one of the most important things in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! To keep these all-in combo decks from doing their thing. But I'm going to go into a more detailed rant on this. I was probably going to make a video. I'll probably still make it and use this as a reason to talk about it, because this low-key, I think this should happen in TCG as well. Solemn Judgment to 2. I have no obligations. I think Solemn Judgment is in comparison to some of the floodgates that people cite, Solemn is probably more healthy than those, but I also think Solemn Judgment is just a very, very, one of the most, or one of the least interesting cards to play with and against. Because people just do the most basic stuff with it, put it into your deck when you go first, set it, and just say no to a card. It's like, I mean, we hate Omni Negates on monsters when they summon them from the extra deck, and a hard-drawn Solemn Judgment isn't really that different from that interaction. I mean, it's not a completely unfair card by nature, but like everyone just siding Solemn when they go first post-siding is also not desirable gameplay. So yeah, not a fan of this card. So I'm not unhappy to see it go onto the list. It's not going to stop people from playing them. They're still going to play 2. It's just going to happen less often now. And then we have Dominus Impulse to 2. This is fair enough. I think Dominus Impulse is low-key. I keep saying low-key. Unk is trying to use youth words again. This is probably the best hand trap in the game that isn't a Molcharmy. So I think it deserves to be at 2. And I think this is another thing. I think, of course, the Molcharmy debate is a whole other topic, but I think moving away from these kind of like one-on-one hand trap interactions is healthy for the future of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because the gameplay that these cards offer is just not interesting, right? Like, having these kinds of hand traps that literally just trade 1-for-1 with your opponent's starters, and if they have more, because the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Works these days is that cards create a lot of card advantage, which I think inherently is not bad as long as the end boards are fair, but like it basically means going second if the only way to deal with them is these kind of hand traps, then the gameplay that ends up happening is very uninteresting, because you just trade hand trap for starter, hand trap for starter. Do you have more starters? Yes, then you win. Do you have less starters than I have hand traps, or the same amount? Then, well, I guess you pass without doing anything. That is not the gameplay that Yu-Gi-Oh should try to achieve. It should try to achieve something where cards are played that minimize what your opponent is doing, but still let them play. Cards like the Charmies, not Maxi, because Maxi is way too good at that. Or other like cards like, I don't know, Femena, Holy Sue, cards that maybe interrupt the opponent slightly while still advancing your own gameplay, or like a Bastille or whatever, like this kind of interaction. And so they should make more decks that have those cards. Maybe they should even make generic cards like that. And then they should make decks that like have meaningful choke points for those types of interactions. And then we can basically both play the game instead of both trying to stop each other from playing the game, right? That, yeah. Sprite Starter to 2, no obligations. Card should probably be at 3. Unlimited, okay. Toxic Pendulum card, hopefully nobody plays it. Eclipse Wyvern, interesting. Bestial Baldrake deserves to be at 3 for sure. Emergency deserves to be at 3. Desires deserves to be at 3. Sleepy Memory deserves to be at 3. Wraith Soth. I think Fenrir is banned in the OCG, so no obligations with that. I mean, I think the TCG has the Kashtira cards all at 3. And I think, I mean, people don't like Unicorn. I still think it's kind of crazy that Fenrir is banned in the OCG and not Unicorn. Yeah, Wraith saw this fine. Okay, Unlimit's nothing too interesting here, but they all deserve to be at 3, I think, except for Astrograph. Every Pendulum card that's not Archfiend Eccentric deserves to rot in hell, okay? You know, it's funny because this is like TCG ban list levels of good recently. This doesn't even feel like an OCG ban list. This is good. They are basically just missing Maxi ban, Called by ban, and then design healthy archetypes, and then we're good. Which is a lot to ask, but it's a pretty damn good start for the OCG here.